Napoleon Hill's idea of a mastermind, how a mastermind group made my client $600 million. That's right. My name is Marlon Sanders. Welcome. Been doing this full time since 1997. Sold over 70,000 info products online. I do three things. Number one is I teach people how to create, package, sell, and deliver their own info products so they build their own brand, their own authority, and their own product line. Number two is I help you promote affiliate products. Number three is I show how to promote any product, any service, any group, any organization, any city, anything you want to promote using my 6-step formula. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and talk about Napoleon Hill and the mastermind and how my client, Walter Itsy Bitsy Haley, made $600 million. Out in Hunt, Texas, it was about a 45-minute drive from where I am in San Antonio. Lived Walter Itsy Bitsy Haley. He has passed on now. When I met him, I was a young buck. I was a copywriter. And Walter paid me up to $10,000 to write a letter. For example, I wrote the letter that launched their Crown Council of Dentistry, which is a huge organization today and is like one of the prestige organizations for dentists to belong to. I wrote the letter that launched that whole organization. So anyway, Walter started out in Rockwall, Texas, couldn't sell anything to anyone. I literally was in life insurance sales and couldn't even make a sale. And he was going to quit the insurance business. His mentor told him he couldn't quit it because he ain't made a sale yet. And so he said, what do I do? And he says, go read Think and Grow Rich. He read Think and Grow Rich. He told him to start a mastermind group. He started a mastermind group, about 7 other salespeople. I think 8 other salespeople within 5 years, if I recall. 7 out of the 8 became millionaires. Walter went on to make what was it, $78 million, I think, from that insurance company by selling. He became owner of it and sold it. And then he took 3 other companies public, I think, for a total of $600 million. Now, how did he do that? What was the power of this mastermind that he started out? So what he did is at 6 a.m., he teamed up with 8 other salespeople, and they'd meet every morning at 6 a.m. They'd do the Royal Canadian Air Force exercises. They would listen to a side of a Lead the Field tape by Earl Nightingale, and they'd exchange leads. So the power of what Napoleon Hill talks about is the mastermind of minds united together towards common purpose. Now, Walter held a weekly mastermind group all his life until pretty much the day that he passed on. Now, today, I'm going to be honest. So masterminding happens informally. You're talking to a friend, you're brainstorming, you're helping each other out. That's a mastermind, right? Now, there's also formal masterminds like Walter had. I was in, for 1 year, a formal mastermind with the powerhouse Joe Vitale from the Law of Attraction. I'm sure you know Joe. Incredible guy, incredible mastermind, just amazing person, right? And so the mastermind, super powerful, because it was out of the mastermind that Walter got the idea that made him $600 million, right? So shout out to you. I know we got some folks on here. Marlon, a real legend, was reading a Gary Halbert letter where he said really nice things about Marlon and a few other marketers. Well, you know, the thing was, I was a copywriter for Phil Kratzer, who spoke at the Gary Halbert events. In fact, Gary used to fly in and meet with Phil. And I only got to meet Gary one time and shook his hand. But he, you know, if we stand tall, we stand on the shoulders of giants. And Gary was a giant of this industry. There's still no one that teaches copywriting of bullet points better than Gary Halbert did. It's absolutely amazing. What I loved about Gary is he could tell a story like no one, right? And that's one thing he had in common with Walter, because Walter, when he brought people into his seminars, was hysterical, and he could tell a story. He could tell a story that would make you laugh, and he could tell a story where there would not be a dry eye in the room, and that's a fact. That is a fact. I've seen it. I was there when he did it, right? And so the power of storytelling is a really big one, but most importantly, the power of the mastermind. Now, hardly anyone meets in formal mastermind groups. And to be quite honest, it's not the easiest thing to do to get people together into a formal mastermind group. In marketing, it's a challenge. You say, hey, let's come together, let's brainstorm, let's share ideas. And the very first thing is, well, we can promote each other's products, blah, 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 and it just goes downhill from there. Because then person A is like, well, I don't want to promote the products of person B. Person B is like, well, I don't want person C in this group because I don't like the way they do business. I don't like what they do, or my list don't want their product. It's just a cesspool, right? So what I recommend is, you can tell I've had some personal experience with this, right? I mean, I couldn't even get 2 people to agree to be in my group because one of them didn't like some of the other person, some of their stuff, right? And so what I recommend are a couple things in terms of practically implementing the concept of the mastermind group. Number one is just do a trial one. Just do a one-time mastermind. See if you like each other. See if the group works, right? Then if they work, have a provisional mastermind. Okay, guys, what do you think about meeting for the next 4 weeks, right? Then if that goes well, maybe you meet for the next 2 months or 3 months. Take it one step at a time. Number two, do not try to do this thing with everybody's going to do joint ventures with everybody else. Now, that may happen naturally, but do not make it part of the mastermind because that becomes not a mastermind. That becomes a syndicate. And I know Frank Kern and Jeff Johnson and those guys put together one once upon a time in Camelot. Ain't happened since. That round table was broken up and ain't happened since. And so I do not recommend that. But what I do recommend is that you get other like-minded people. You come together in a true mastermind, right? So that's what I recommend for a mastermind. Now, Napoleon Hill had a lot to say about the mastermind and the power of the mastermind. Now, you do not have to have 10 people to be a mastermind. You can have 2 people. Where 2 people that agree towards a common purpose and brainstorm together, that is a mastermind. But you get a core of 3 is not easily broken. It's best to have 3 people, and anything up to about 8 works. When you start getting more than 8, there's a bit of a problem there. Now, I have a mastermind that you can pay to be in, but it's only for serious marketers. Like, if you're a new person, you got no idea or no clue what's going on, you're not going to benefit from the mastermind. Everybody in there has a viable business that they operate. One is astrology business, one is a Botox clinic, one's a big ticket closer. We have a lady in there who's a writer. But if you want to know about it, it's basically by invitation only. So you can PM me on Facebook. Tell me you want to be in the mastermind group. And drop a comment because I probably have to check if we're not friends on Facebook, in fact, just do this. If you want the info, just drop a comment because we may not be friends, and then my message will go in your other folder. I'll never freaking see it, right? All right, so that is the concept of a mastermind. Have any of you been in a mastermind? Do you understand the concept? Have you read what Napoleon Hill said about it? If you've not read what Napoleon Hill said about it, you need to go read it. Now, Walter was there 600 million. He would read Think and Grow Rich every year. Every stinking year for about 30 years, he read Think and Grow Rich. Because it's a product. Every time you read it, you get something new. Every time you read it, you learn something new. Now, I personally love the Law of Success, where he greatly expands on his ideas. And in Law of Success was actually where he laid out how to do a mastermind if you're with other salespeople. And that's really a great plan that he had there. Really fascinating, really interesting plan, right? And so, but this is the power of the mastermind. Napoleon Hill's really the only one who taught it. No one else really taught the mastermind, right? I mean, a few people, maybe way back, people kind of talked about the general, vague idea of the mastermind, but nobody talked about it in specific. Napoleon Hill was the only one, to my knowledge, that talked about the mastermind in specific. This is the greatest contribution to development. So if you're not in a mastermind, I recommend that you read that chapter in Napoleon Hill, and you consider getting into one, right? You consider getting into one. Now, I always like to save the best for the last. So for those of you who listen this far, type, bitter end, and let me know that you're a bitter end person. Because you're my kind of person. If you listen to bitter end, you're my kind of person, right? Because I want people who are hungry. The words of Les Brown, you got to be hungry. If you don't listen to the end, you're not really that hungry, are you? All right, so here's the deal. I recommend that if you want to make more money, you want to make money like Walter did, that you find some go-getters, some real go-getters to do your mastermind with, right? Because you don't want all strugglers in there because you're all going to be struggling together. What you want to get are some go-getters, some doers, and some accomplishers who have your same ethics, your same types of values, right? And starting out, meet monthly. Do not meet weekly. Weekly's tough. It's very, very freaking hard. Monthly is great. All right, we have a really good comment here. Let me put it up on screen. A fan of Mastermind. I'm in 3, including this one. Of the others, 1 paid, 1 free. Free Mastermind with some close business has been going for years. Kind of like probably the Andrew Carnegie Masterminds. Well, my Mastermind is on Wednesday nights. I'll give you if you bought any of my products, I'll give you 4 weeks free to come check out our Mastermind and try it out, right? We're at 8 Eastern Standard Time Wednesday night. Now, again, you got to have something going. You got to have a business or something. Like if you're coming in there and you're a newbie and you have no clue about anything, you're not going to get value from it because we're actually talking about doing stuff and everything. But it sounds like you might be great to be in our Mastermind. We'd love to have you come and try it out and see how you like it. We have some bangers in there. We have some really, really awesome, unbelievable. We have the best time. We really do. And if you're interested in that, just drop me a note, a little message, and I'll get you in. I don't have a big sales page on. I used to have a big sales page. I don't have a sales page now. It's like, here's the concept. We meet every week, Wednesday night, 8 Eastern Standard Time. Come try it out for free. That's it. That's my big pitch. As embarrassing as that is, I got to write a new sales page for it. You just haven't done it. But listen, if you're serious, if you really want to accomplishing the master, then get in a mastermind. Again, the one I did with Joe was in person once a month. We did it until the pandemic hit. We broke up after the pandemic hit. But Joe's amazing, Joe Vitale. Like everybody, nobody really knows him. They just kind of know his public persona. But like, he's the coolest guy. Like when he came to the master, he always had a book. He'd buy a book for us and give everybody in the mastermind group a book or something, right? It's a really amazing guy. The law of attraction has the word action in it and shows the epitome of that. Like people think the law of attraction about sitting around just having positive thoughts. No. Law of attraction has the word action in it. There's nobody I know that takes more action than Joe Vitale. He's like an action Jackson type person, right? If you're in a mastermind, if you're listening to this, maybe you're listening on the replay and you're in a mastermind, drop a note and tell us about it. If you want to be in a mastermind, just type that you want to be in a mastermind. Maybe somebody will contact you. Who the heck knows, right? We got a lot of go-getters in our group here. We got some great people here in our mastermind group. So that's it. Thank you for joining me today. Now, by the way, no, wait. I have a freebie for you. Again, I saved the best to last, right? I have a freebie for you. I forgot to tell you about it. Let's come over here to the Facebooks. The Facebooks, right? And, wow. I got to be honest. I freaking love this. Does that not just freaking pop? Holy crap, I've never seen that before. I'm going to save that. Hold on, guys. I love saving great links to stuff like that. That's my swipe file. Holy smokes. Okay, sorry about that. All right. I have a freebie for you. And all you do is you just come over here to my profile, or you just drop it in the group. Just drop a note in the group. It's fine. I want my 16-page report on how to quickly spin up digital unlock codes into a launch for big potential profits. Drop a yes. And we've got 10 people who have dropped a yes. If you want it and you're in the group, do the same. Just drop a yes. Or just come over here to my profile, youtube.com/Marlon Centers, and drop me a yes here. And I'm going to be getting those out to everyone today. So that's a new freebie. Not given that out before. And so that's your reward for listening to the end and being, a hardcore person. Thank you for joining me today. You all have a great day. Remember, the power of the mastermind. Go reread Napoleon Hill's chapter on the power of the mastermind. I'll see you tomorrow.